Marley was dead to begin with. Make that Marley and Marley. Glad to have you here again at Tulgey TV, where there's a brand new video every Tuesday. Make sure you like and subscribe. And today's video is all about the Muppet Christmas Carol, which is celebrating its 30th anniversary in the Christmas season of 2022. That's right, it was released in December of 1992. This is really one of the best adaptations of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, with the great Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge, and the Muppets playing the other characters. Of course, there's Kermit the Frog as Bob Cratchit, his nephew Robin as Tiny Tim, Gonzo as Charles Dickens, who else, and Miss Piggy as Mrs. Cratchit, where she proves there are no small roles, only small actors, and you can take that any way you want. There's also some really fun casting, with Fozzie Bear playing not Fezziwig, but Fozziewig, and Marley's ghost being played by Statler and Waldorf, because it's Marley and Marley, Jacob and Robert. In fact, there are 280 Muppets in the cast, and it's also interesting to note on the subject of the Muppets playing different characters. Originally, the ghosts of Christmas Past, Christmas Present, and Christmas Yet to Come were going to be played by Scooter, Miss Piggy, and some reports say Animal. But the Muppet creators decided to do a more authentic version of the story, and having the ghosts being played in a more comical fashion didn't seem to fit. So the Muppet makers came up with their own versions of the famous Dickens Ghosts of Christmas. Some of this, of course, was achieved with special effects, especially the Ghost of Christmas Past, and there are about 100 effect shots in the film, more than in any other Muppet movie up to that point. It seems disappointing that there wasn't more merchandise put out with the film. Since the film, there's been a few figures made, and they're really great. And for the 30th anniversary, there's been some great merchandise, including commemorative pins, like this one from D23, which is really awesome. At the time of the film's release, there wasn't all that much, but we're going to take a look at what there was. Now, there's a few things that I don't have. There was the Muppet Christmas Carol magazine, which I actually do have, but I'm not sure where it is right now, which had all kinds of fun information about the film. And there were even Christmas ornaments that were given away at Taco Bell. I don't have those, but you can see them on the website of collector Dan Alexander. I'll put a link in the description for this video. And when you take a look, you'll see that the ornaments really weren't much. They were really more like stickers, but they're really cute. So let's take a look at some of the other Muppet Christmas Carol merchandise from my collection. Here we have a coloring book, which is always fun, and coloring books are very popular here in Tulgey Wood. This is illustrated by Nate Butler, and there's some really fun illustrations here. It's a really nice adaptation of the story. And it would be fun to color these and make them very colorful for Christmas and really brighten up this story. It's also very interesting to note that there are no words for this coloring book, so it's purely told through the visuals. And Nate Butler did a great job. Here's the Christmas feast with the Cratchits. And it's very touching at the end, with Scrooge shedding a little tear because of Tiny Tim, and Charles Dickens, played by Gonzo, and his friend, Rizzo the Rat, looking through the window, being very happy at this happy ending. And you can even see that the Cratchits have a sampler that says, "God bless us, everyone." Tiny Tim's beautiful little catchphrase. Now, this coloring book was from Golden Press, makers of the Little Golden Books and the Big Golden Books. And it just seems like a shame there was no actual golden book, little or big or otherwise, produced for this film. But I correct myself, because there was actually a golden look book produced with the film, and this is illustrated entirely with stills from the film. A really, really great use of the imagery from the film itself. So Nate Butler, you probably would have done a great job illustrating this, but you had to stick with the coloring book because they were definitely going for stills. Now there's also another book, So again, I lied, because even though it's not strictly speaking a golden book, it is from Western Publishing. And golden books were an imprint of Western Publishing. So even though it's not exactly a golden book, we're still very happy to have it, and it is very special. And even though it's clearly based on The Muppet Christmas Carol, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that in the title, nor does it say it anywhere in the book or on the book. It says A Merry Muppet Christmas, starring Jim Henson's Muppets. So based on the title, this could have been any story with the Muppets, but it's The Muppet Christmas Carol. But what I really love about it is this format, where you're looking through these windows, and here is Charles Dickens and Rizzo the Rat outside the window. Turn the page, you can see them outside the window. And then we have inside Miss Piggy, and beyond them, Kermit and his two sons, Peter, and of course, Tiny Tim. Turn, and we see more of the story. We see more details. Turn the page again, and it still all fits together. It's really wonderful. And then at the end, one shining star, all golden bright, that brings good cheer on Christmas night. So it's very festive. Now the next batch of merchandise that we have is really the most fun and kind of the most unusual. They're premiums, in fact, and they were given away with kids' meals at Hardee's. And they are actually finger puppets. There were 4 in all, and I have a couple that are still sealed. Here we have Gonzo, aka Charles Dickens. He really does make a Dickens of a Dickens. I couldn't resist saying that at some point. And since they're finger puppets, they're quite small. It might have been even more fun if they had made like actual figures of some kind, but we'll take what we can get, and they are great finger puppets. Here's Fozzie as Fozziewig. Here's Miss Piggy. And here's Kermit. And as you can see, they are fun and really beautifully done. We'll take a close-up view of them. So that's just a brief look at the few, very few, bits of memorabilia that were created for this great Christmas film. And if you haven't seen it or haven't seen it in a while, check out this film, especially if you love the Muppets, but especially if you love A Christmas Carol, because it is a really beautiful adaptation of that famous story. I wish Gonzo was here so that he could be Charles Dickens for us and read the final passage of the book, which is definitely one aspect I think of when I think of this beautiful story. Because it says of the reformed Scrooge, it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May this be said of us and of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.